Okay, so a first little wobbly cam look at these. These are Rogers LS2As that I've got, and as you can see straight away, cabinet, chipboard, nasty nasty, and a bit at the back there as well. And on this one I don't think is too bad. We had a knock there, but on the other side, not too bad. Feet have come off, again that's not an issue. I've just actually gone, these rubbers were really hard, they've not broken or anything like that. I've just gone over them with some rubber conditioner, and that's nice and supple again and really woken it up. I'll put a picture in on what they look like now. So yeah, they are much better. A lot of people keep asking me what I use. It's this stuff. Yeah, mainly for car rubbers, door rubbers, that sort of thing. But does a brilliant job. Cleans it up, reconditions the rubber, keeps it looking good. So we've got a 5-inch mid-woofer, and the C's 414, I think, or the 418, 414, which is a metal dome tweeter. Not as good as the 418, which is the plastic soft dome tweeter, which is better in my view. Yeah, grill covers, filthy, not good, both of them. So yeah, damn good clean. PVA to stabilize that, and then fill and sand it back. And I think what I'll do is probably just respray the front baffle black, wrap it in wood vinyl, recloth them, redo the crossover. From memory, what have we got? A third order on the tweeter, second on the woofer. I don't think there's any notch filtering. There is on the 4 and the 6A. Iron core inductor on the woofer, so we'll change that. Poly caps on the whole system. And yeah, that's basically going to be it. So we'll look at the back. There's that other chip. Again, we'll stabilise that, fill it, sand it. But the backs are pretty good. We've got matching serial numbers A and B. Let's put something better on the binding posts. That's cracked anyway, so we do something with that. Yeah, I mean, these are a funny speaker. They don't have a very good reputation, but the last pair I had, I did some upgrade work to them. I really liked them, and for a little two-way monitor speaker, they're lovely and compact. I mean, I haven't got my tape measure with me, but they're probably about 13-14 inches high, if that, 10 wide, 8 deep, something like that, I would have thought. So they're a great little speaker. So I'm going to just upgrade these, wrap them, test them, and yeah, off they go. So let's get cracking, because I'm going to turn this all round in one video. Reheated Dominoes for breakfast with garlic and herb dip. Breakfast of champions. Right, so I've just shot my measurements for the this new pair of LS2As, and they're quite interesting really. The serial numbers on the back are consecutive, and one is A and one is B, so I'll refer to them as A and B. B seems to be doing better than A, if that makes sense. So let's look at A quickly first. Just have to bear with me a minute. Okay, right, so if we look at A on axis, good phase relationship between the woofer and the tweeter. We got this classic dip. I see this in a lot of Rogers speakers. My C33s had this, the LS4 and the LS6As I've had have a similar characteristic to this. So this is what you'd know as the BBC dip. Frequencies around 2000 hertz, 3000 hertz can be quite, how can I put it? I know them as the scream frequencies, and if someone's screaming, these are the frequencies that scream is kind of at, and I think humans are kind of evolved to react to that, and it's this that can make your speaker not scare you, but it's just not nice to listen to. So I think this is why the dip is kind of there, and also our hearing is better in the mid-range than it is at the upper frequencies and lower frequencies. So this is why the BBC dip, I think, also came about. But anyway, I'm sort of spinning off on one now. So this particular one, if I look at 10 degrees below, in fact, let me switch all these on. Right, okay, so if we look at the on-axis response as it is, our lowest point is 77 dB, and our peak is up here at 87, so that's a 10 dB swing, which is pretty big, really. Not really what I was expecting, but if we look at this, the vertical measurements, so let's switch on 10 degrees vertically. You can see that 3k hertz dip starts opening up further. And if we switch on the 20 degree vertically, and I'm going below the tweeter here, it's even bigger. So like I say, this isn't so much the case with speaker B, so this leads me to believe we've probably got some capacitors on the tweeter failing or out of tolerance here. And if I go 10 degrees above, you see we're not too dissimilar really to on axis. So yeah, there's something not completely right with this speaker. So if we have a look at B, okay, so this is the file for B. So again, phase relationship isn't too bad. We've got this other difference kicking in here, which we didn't have on the other. That might be the port, but strange we didn't really see that on the other, on speaker A. So let's switch off everything here we don't want at the moment, and let's just see a comparison between A and B. So pretty similar. The green trace is B, which is what we're looking at, and we've still got that dip there. But if I start, let's turn off A. If I start going 10 degrees vertical, you see we've not really changed that dip there. We're not too different. So 20 degrees below, then 20 degrees at 1 meter is a lot. So I'm not surprised we get that suck out. And then if I go 10 degrees above, again, we're not really much different to being on axis or 10 degrees below. So this speaker to me is behaving a little bit better. So yeah, quite interesting really. So I'm sure when we measure the components in the crossover, we're probably going to find a few issues there. But in terms of frequency response, it's yeah, a bit all over the map at the moment. I wasn't expecting such a difference, and this one isn't as bad. If you ignore the dip, then we are, I don't know, within plus minus 3.5 dB, something like that. So yeah, quite interesting really. So this is the spectral decay for speaker A, and it's pretty clean. The peaks are at about 85 dB, and by the time we get down to 75 dB, we've lost, there's no real stored energy there. There is a bit here. I suspect this might be to do with the port, but yeah, that's not too bad. And if we look at speaker B, similar sort of thing, pretty clean. The tweeter's losing its energy really fast, which is great, but we do have a few clingers on here, and when I was doing the measurements and the test tone was running, I could hear a bit of what felt or sounded like cone rub. So that may be where this is coming from, and it might just be the case that these speakers haven't been used for so long and that rubber's quite stiff at the moment. So yeah, bit differences between them, nothing massive, but yeah, a little bit of work to do there. Yeah, so reasonably surprised with these, not in a good way, so a bit of work to do to them, and hopefully we can get them sounding really nice. Now I've got all the measurements from both of them that I need. I've got a comparison for when they're all finished, so a lot of cabinet work to these, and yeah, I'm sure they'll turn into a really good speaker, because the few other sets I've had and worked on, they've turned out to be pretty good. And like I say, a bit underrated, I think. Maybe not stock, but once they're worked on, they can be pretty good. So yeah, that's part one. I was going to do this just under one video, but yeah, I'll split it into two. So there we go. Okay, catch up soon.